before I spend the next few years procrastinating and getting nothing done, the best thing I could do is make a few definite decisions on the setting for the, let's say, the first universe that I'm going to build. The year is 2258. I chose this year as a homage to my favorite television show of all time, if not the greatest science fiction show of all time, in my opinion, Babylon 5. 2258 was the year of the season 1 of that show. If you haven't seen Babylon 5, I highly recommend it. Okay, I have for fun called this universe A001-A001. Don't ask me why, I just thought it would be funny. Funny to me anyway. Okay, there are 3 main political entities, with a number of smaller independent ones. They are the Papal States, the United Nations, and corporations. Humanity is limited to the solar system, as it has been discovered that faster than light is impossible and wormholes are a fiction. There are no aliens in this setting. This is, as I said, this is my universe, and I think it is important to make these decisions now. It doesn't matter if in the real world something else is discovered to make events here possible. What needs to happen is that the setting itself needs to be consistent. So that is what it's going to be. It's for my own sake. I do have plans to play around with a universe where wormholes are a thing, using them as weaponry. Not in the Farscape sense, but in another. Okay, looking at the political, I suppose I should look at the political entities themselves. The Papal States are a monarchy with a distributist economy. The United Nations are a democracy with a more socialist economy. Corporations are de facto states, and some of them extremely powerful, are mixed. Some are CEO led and some are shareholder led. And there are also small independent city-states, if you will, maybe based on asteroids, some on Earth and maybe some on the other planets. There is a there is a Cold War between the 3 main entities, though many of the corporations are aligned with either the Papal States or the United Nations. Some are completely independent of the two, and it is with these that the Cold War exists. The small independent states will have their own agendas, but I think they will be stand-ins for the, the libertarians, wanting to look out for themselves to their own local areas. And I think many of the entities will be ramped up versions. I'm only beginning to write, so they may be everyone may be a hat, they may be over the top, but the main reason I am writing these books, or will be writing these, is to pass on the gospel message, look at issues and ethics. So I will assign or ascribe maybe ramped up versions of what they probably would be, for the sake of the story and for the sake of getting the message across more clearly. Later stories, as I develop as a writer, may be much more nuanced and That is eventually where I want to go. Obviously, me being a Catholic, the Papal States for me will be the good guys. But I do want to show the problems with the Papal States. And one of the main problems is that we are human and we are flawed. And that even the good intentions of the laws and regulations within have their consequence, which are negative or outwardly negative. And I want to examine that. Same with the UN. I'm not a big fan of the current UN. I think they're cancerous. However, they do have their good points. And just because there are good guys and bad guys, there needs to be a lot of grey on both sides. Same with corporations. Just because they will be, some of them will be seen as really bad, doesn't mean they're not, that their intentions are bad. The consequences of their actions will be very negative for some of them, but for some they will have a positive impact, but they may get there unethically. And I want this world setting then to be a place where we can have the debates, because if you look around the world today, people aren't open to listening. Conservatives won't listen to liberals. Liberals won't listen to progressives. Progressives won't listen to anyone but themselves. But in this setting, I want it to be all sides in some ways to have their good and their bad. Now, I will have my bias. To me, there will be one good guy, but I want to leave it open to others to have the discussion. This will be a fictional setting, so we can have the debate in this setting that we can't have in the real world. You can name people in this world, and you can vilify them, or you can support their actions without it being an attack on real world people. And I also want to explore this, pushing it out as a thought experiment to see, well, what would be the consequences of my good intentions. I have a video called 12 Rules for Utopia, and the idea is that there is no such thing as utopia or a universal utopia. Your utopia will be many people's dystopia, and that is what I want to explore. It will have its consequences no matter what, because to maintain that utopia, what are you prepared to do? And that is another possible aspect of where this will go. Possibly rebellion within one or all of the three main entities. And it could be and both sides could be right, both sides could be wrong. And I want to explore the good in all things, and that no matter how bad things get, it can always be redeemed, and no matter how good things are, it can always be corrupted. So that will be the setting of Universe A001-A001, which you've probably seen in the title. Now, in later videos, I will look at the Papal States, I will look at the UN and the corporations in separate videos. I will then go into the history of the setting, talking about how they got from this year that I'm writing this in, 2018, to that date. And how I will set it is, it will begin here as if this is as if the real world. Sorry, I will say that the politics of the world up until today, 2018, will be the same 2018 from their perspective. I won't add in anything. However, the science discovered between here and there basically will be tech-teched by me, and it will be the physics for the setting. So if there are events happen or something discovered between now and my setting, that's the real world. This is the fictional setting. So I hope guys you're okay with that, but I still want to make it as real as possible. So I'm hoping this gets a following, and I hope that people who have scientific knowledge or political knowledge or economic knowledge could help out by pointing out the flaws in my ideas. And that again will be a great what I hope to get from this project, that it starts a discussion showing that how I am wrong and how it will have negative consequences, or saying that yes, that could work, but it will require A, B, and C. And I'd like to hear someone else saying, should A, B, and C be implemented, it will become dystopian for them. And allowing the discussion to build so that we can see the consequences of our actions and hopefully make us all think about what we're doing, where we're going, and how we want to get there. So I want to thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. It would really help boost the channel. Comment below and leave your suggestions. Let me know what you think, positive and negative. Would really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and hit that bell so you get any updates. Thank you for listening, and check out my next videos where I will be exploring the political entities of this setting. Thank you once again, and God bless.